Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. It's graduation season, and for all the mamas out there who want to do their makeup, here is a beginner friendly makeup that I'm going to be doing. Very neutral. I am tending to go that way. I'm going to pop up some colors at some point on my eyeshadow, but today we're doing a beginner friendly for the mamas out there who've not done makeup for a while and wanted to go to their children's graduation, whether high school, college, looking fine, presentable, or if they themselves are graduated and cannot afford a MUA, here are some tips for some beginner friendly makeup. Alright, you're going to start with skincare, and if you want to see how I do my skincare, I already have a video on that. I have washed, cleansed my face properly, dried it, and then I applied the Kiehl's. It is the discoloration UV. Whatever you have as a moisturizer, put that on. You need to moisturize your face. Use something that has hyaluronic acid or something that has some ceramides. That's going to keep your face nice and moisturized, drawing the moisture. If you have dry skin, this is perfect for you. Even if you have oily skin, your face needs to be moisturized. Use something that is going to bring some tackiness to your face. You don't have to go overboard. Do not leave your sunscreen off. I've already put my moisturizer on. Whatever moisturizer you have on, make sure they dry down properly. You can put your moisturizer on, go about and do something else until it dries down. Put your sunscreen on, and all these products need to dry down well. So I'm going to put my sunscreen on. Today I'm using the Black Girl sunscreen. So you're probably going to be out in the sun for a little bit. So make sure that you are protecting your skin. And the sunscreen itself can act as what I'm going to go into next, which is primer. But let's apply the sunscreen. Mine does not burn at all, so I use it under my eyes. I do get into my brows as well, so that I have protection for the skin under those hairs. So tip number one, make sure that you're doing skincare. Have your face nicely moisturized. Wear your sunscreen. Allow all these products to dry down. You can expedite this process by using a fan or just doing something else so it seeps into your skin. Tip number two, use a primer. If you are oily, use a matte primer. If you have dry skin, use something that's hydrating. I have combination skin, so today I'm going in with this Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum, and it's from Danessa Myrick. It acts as a primer and as a serum, so it helps for the product. It helps for some tackiness. It protects my skin, so you need something that is further protecting the skin so that it prepares the canvas, which is your face, your skin, for the foundation to adhere. Now this will pick up the sunscreen just a little bit, so you'll see a little bit of whiteness coming up. I allow for it to dry down well so that it works effectively. You can eliminate this step if you don't want the process to be long or you don't want to be invested in multiple products. Placing your sunscreen will be adequate if you allow for it to dry down. So tip number two, have a primer. You can skip this process. All right, I am going to go in now and do my brows, and then I go into tip number three. So let me go in and do my brows. As an older female, I tend to, with sparse hairs, I draw my brows a little bit upward, just giving my face a little bit of a lift. And especially with my hooded eyes, I tend to create more space between the lid and the brow bone. So just watch, I draw both top and bottom because I don't have adequate hairs. If you have hairs, you can go in with a different method, just filling in the sparseness where necessary, or you don't need to do anything but brush it up with a brow gel to keep it in place. We will come back to the brows when we're doing our concealer process. So just hang on, don't let this be a distraction until I get into tip number 5. Tip number 4, which will be your concealer, but let's get into tip number 3. It's your foundation. Now, choose a foundation that obviously matches your skin tone. So whether it's a high-end or a drugstore, make sure that it matches your skin tone. Today I am going in with a mixture of the NARS Light Reflecting, and I'm using a pan to mix it on. You can use the back of your hand, which I have done for years, but just to avoid excess cleanup. And then I'm gonna mix it with the House Lab Triclone foundation. These give somewhat of a radiant finish, so I'm going to mix both together, and I'm gonna get it nicely blended into my brush. I don't want a full coverage, I just want a medium. I'm going for medium soft glam, so I'm going to now tap it in, just apply all over, and then I will stipple it in by, when I say stipple, I am pressing it in. Make sure you come down your neck for full coverage. If your nose is pretty greasy or get oily pretty quickly, you can also apply a little bit of setting powder to help for your foundation to adhere. So you can put a little powder before and then the foundation. But for me, I'll go in with the reverse and set that area. Your brush needs to be pretty dense, and it should be able to pick up the foundation adequately, and it allows for a fuller coverage if you want a lighter coverage or something that is more loose on the hairs. You can also use a sponge. I'm not really into the sponge because I question its ability to be cleansed well. Alright, so now I have my foundation placed well, and I'm gonna go in with my highlighting and contouring. Now, if you look at my face, you see that the canvas is pretty blank. The light that I have is reflecting here. You see a little bit here, 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 and down my nose. These are the areas where I will now place concealer. So like I said, I'm applying light back into the face, bringing in back the structure, not too much. If you're a beginner, just a little will go a long way. I'm going to use it to carve out my brows as well. A little bit on my forehead down the bridge of my nose to cover up my mustache, and a little bit here as well. So this technique is called highlighting and contouring, and so I'm now going to go in with my bronzer. I'm not going to use anything creamy or liquidy. I'm going in with a powder bronzer, and this is from Love Yourself LYS, which is a black owned brand. Now I'm going to go in with this brush that I have used earlier this week. I'm going to just tap a little bit in. This one has a more of a reddish finish, but you can get something that's cool. So I'm just going to tap it in, and then I'm going to brush it up. I'm just going to do the placement, and then I'm going to blend it in. A little goes a long way. So for this product, I'm going in with something more pigmented than I have been using recently. And then I am going to brush it into the hairline, brush it back, and then for the cheeks, atop the cheekbones, I'm going to brush it upwards with a light hand. Now for all these steps, you are able to stop the video and practice and then move on. I'll try to put timestamps in so that you're able to follow along. You see a little bit of structure coming back. It's not just a blank canvas. You have some cinching, and I'm going to go a step further by putting a little bit under my chin because you girl has been eating a lot. So what you like to achieve is a little bit more structure, especially if your face is a little bit more on the rounded side. If you have high cheekbones and so forth, you don't need that to do this aspect. So I went in off camera and carved out my brows, but I'm gonna go in now with a small fluffy brush. This one is from Real Technique, and all the things are washed off, but it's from Real Technique, and it is going to be used to blend out the concealer. When you allow for it to dry down, the coverage is better, and I don't want under my eyes to be super bright because I'm going to be using step 5, some setting powder, and that will be used to brighten the under eye. Now the concealer should be 2 to 3 shades brighter than your skin tone, brighter than your foundation, for it to have effect and impact. You see, the coverage is better. Covering up the creases, make sure you blend it in well because you don't want it to settle in the creases that are existing under the eyes. Mature skin creases faster than the youthful skin. Like I said, you can leave it at step 1, but I'm a little extra, so I went in with a little bit more. And now I'm going to just use the extra on the brush just to reverse contour, just to clean it up a little bit. so you have somewhat of a E, just to give your face some structure. Alright, so for now, for every cream product that you've utilized, you need to set it with a powder product. I'm going in with this powder puff, and I'm just going to use it to lightly tap in the under eye to remove any excess product and just to make sure that it's blended in well. And then I'm going to go right in with my Laura Mercier powder. I'm dipping in the powder, and I'm going to go in with it on the back of my hand to ensure that it's smooth, no lumps, no bumps. And then I'm going to press it in under my eyes. And you'll see some lines of demarcation, which I will deal with eventually. And sealing all the areas that I've concealed. Looks harsh now, but it will come together soon. And this is your tip number 5. Setting all the cream products with powder. All right, we're going to go back in with, because you see this harsh line, we're going to go back in with our contour brush, and we're just going to use the excess, nothing extra, just to blend it in, fill out that harsh line. All right, I'm also going to go in with a softer bronzer. It's not as harsh, nice and light, and it's from Minted. If you watch my new end product video, things that I've always wanted, you'll see me using this product. I'm also going to use it to contour my nose. This is an extra step for which you don't have to get involved with, but just to bring back further structure to your face, you can do this step. For years I didn't, a lot of people don't, but I like it, so I do it. Alright, so we're going to take it a step further, and you need a pressed foundation powder because it helps to smooth the other setting powders, and you can use this to just further set the under eye. Press it down. It's less ashy. All right, and that's it for step number 5. Step number 6, after having put all that powder stuff on your face, you need to set it with a setting spray. Today I'm using Revolution base fix, you can use whatever setting spray you want. You want the powders to set, so any setting spray is good for this point. If you see, the powders are just melting and just coming together, and you're looking more natural, not powdery and like a hot mess, but you see everything just amalgamated. So step number 6 is absolutely important. Let's get into step number 7. We're going to apply your blusher. A lot of people are not into blush, but it's summertime and this does take your makeup up a notch. So we're just going to apply this Fenty Beauty blush just right atop the cheeks, right atop where you had your contour or bronzer place. We're just going to melt them in together. Light feathery movements. Now it can be a little bit bright, so just hold your brush at the bottom. Light feathery movements. Blend it in. I like to bring mine up to my forehead as well, my temple. Looking nice and healthy. Yeah, it brings something oomph to the look. All right, now the same blusher and bronzer can be used for your eyeshadow. So that is tip number 7. I've lost track of the tips, but you'll see it on screen. I'm gonna go in with the same brush that I used to contour my nose, just to make sure and use the bronzer as my eyeshadow, and that gives the look some cohesiveness. You can invest into a neutral palette, much like this Morphe palette I have here. It's the 18 Neutral Wonder, or you can just, like I am at this point, making it pretty simple using the bronzer. I'm going into the corner of my eye, bringing it up a little bit over my crease because I have hooded eyes, and that's the only way I know how to at this point, and then blending it in. Make it cohesive with the nose contour, and then yeah, that's pretty simple. Going to the graduation, you want to look put together, nice, cute. You know, want to say hi to the other parents. You want to look good for your child or for yourself. Yeah. All right. I do have lashes on, but the other step would be to put mascara on if you don't have lashes. And so I usually use a Milani Highly Rated. It has some tubing. It does nice extension of your lashes, coats them well, and comes off pretty easy, non-smudge, because you don't want to look like a mess if you're crying because you're excited. This won't smudge. So this is highly rated, and yeah, as the name states, it's highly rated, and so I think you'd love it as well. But that's the next tip. Put your mascara on just to complete the look, or if you've had lashes previously, here they are. Now to the next tip, we're going to go to the lips. I'm going to line my lip with this MAC lip liner. I think this is the color Cork. Yes, it's Cork. I'm going to overline a little bit. You don't have to. It just gives the lipstick a more cohesive look. Find a liner that matches your skin tone well. Whatever floats your boat. Some people use really dark ones. I'm not really into that. But if it matches your lip, if you're a beginner, that will be just easier to handle. I'm gonna go in with a second one. This is from Milani. And then I'm gonna go in with this Too Faced lip injection. You can use whatever lip. I'm using a liquid lip, and it does plump a little bit. You don't have to do that. Just what was in my reach. And I wanted something pinky. You can also go in with a gloss. I'm not going to today, so yeah. And for the final step, I'm just going to go in and just put a light eyeliner just to do a slight wing. And I'm actually using the very same pencil I used to carve out my brows. Just subtle line. Keep your eyes open and just create a slight wing. You can use the dark shade in your eyeshadow palette with a flat angled brush to achieve this as well, but I'm just winging it at this point. Just a slight wing, and I don't like to do too much, especially if I'm in lashes, but if you're not in lashes, this just go along the lash line and that will be completing the look. So this is the finished look, guys. Let's step out to our graduation functions looking nice, put together, cute, demure, ready to celebrate. I hope you enjoy this video with these beginner tips for those of you who want to do a quick makeup look going to a graduation. Please comment below what you think of this video, like, share, and subscribe to Jess Althea's channel, a 50-year-old female who does makeup, does her locks, and other lifestyle products I want to dabble in, and other lifestyle events I will dabble in. So until next time, bye guys.